Hi, I'm Jim from Bayrock Financial, and in this short video, I'll highlight another key financial guide available for instant download at bayrockfinancial.com. Actually, this resource may not be considered a financial guide, but if you have a business or if you are just interested in making videos or sharing videos or just being creative, then this resource is for you. I met this guy on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my favorite social media network, and Michael Connell, is it Michael? Let me make sure. I just met this guy, Mike Connell. He's the guy, and he's got this website, and he creates videos. And anyway, I met him in what we call, I think, a success pod, which is just a group of folks who we comment on one another's posts, and it's been fun, and it's been working really well for the purposes that we had in the pod. But most of the group is in Boston or in the East Coast. I'm in Houston. So I'm making this little video to highlight my new friend Mike Collin. And we just had this meeting. I'm going to share it with you. It was just like 12 minutes. And Mike shared with me some really helpful technical insights about using Zoom, which I use all the time, every day, as I do virtual planning with clients and prospective clients. So anyway, I learned a ton. We decided that we're going to do some work together. I'm going to be creating, I always put these resources on bayrockfinancial.com, and you can see those here. And I also do courses, and we're going to add consultants here in a day or two or a week or two, but Mike is going to be one of our consultants. He's going to be the Zoom Meister, and we're going to do videos together. We're going to create little how-to videos for using Zoom, and also for how to maximize your use of LinkedIn if you're into LinkedIn, and we are. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this. New friend, I want you to watch our little video, little interview, and just share, comment, and most of all, I want you to think about whether or not you want to be in our new pod. It's called Video Pod. It's just a very simple idea. We'll have a group of folks that like to learn a little bit about making videos, and the application for videos in business is phenomenal, and that's what Mike does. So anyway, there's Mike, and there's his website, and here's my website, and I'm going to post the resource right here on my resource page, and soon I will post our next course, which will be a very small free course for our friends on LinkedIn. It'll go right here. So check it out. Share this post with your friends on LinkedIn and your business clients, especially the people that might need what Mike does. I don't make videos for businesses. I don't have time to do that, but I do make a lot of videos, mostly tutorial videos for clients and so on. But Mike makes videos for business owners, and you can watch his videos on his website. I'm going to put a link to this in the comment when I post this on LinkedIn, but some great stuff here. Just fun. So thanks for watching my short video, and don't forget, like it, comment on it, and share it. And think about whether or not you want to be part of the video pod. If you're watching a video on LinkedIn, you might want to think about what's next. See you next time.
I'm going to be just a little bit further to your right.
Sorry, I just hit the record because this is really good.
You'd want to slide a little bit to your right.
Which would be this way?
No, to your right.
Okay.
Right. So you'd have more of that angle leading towards where you're looking. So that's where you're drawing the audience attention into that.
Cool.
So if you cut to a person on the other end, you want them to have a complementary angle to what you're doing.
So on a Zoom interview, like this is Zoom, whenever I talk, I take up the camera. When you talk, you take up the camera. But when I stop talking and you start talking, it looks like we're in a place where we're relating to one another. Is that the main idea?
Now say we're doing an interview here and we're talking. So the framing would be nice where you're this way and then I'd be over this side. And we're talking
So
to each other. So we're looking this way, you're looking that way, and we're talking to each other.
So I would, in this scenario, I would turn to my left because I would look like I'm seeing my camera,
Right.
and you're right there.
Well, see, I don't know how I'm lined up on your screen. I've got two windows, in Zoom. You're in my left window, and I'm in my right window.
We don't know what that's going to look like in the recording.
Right. So the person who's hosting the meeting has control of the recording. So
Okay.
you're looking at the Zoom. What side are you on your picture?
So I'm on the left at the
And I'm on
top,
the right.
and you're on the right. Yeah.
Right. So that's how it would record. But on the Zoom, you have the view button, which you can change it to gallery or speaker.
Yeah.
The way I cut them live is when the two people are talking, keep it on the two shot. But when one person's talking, you change it to speaker and you fill the screen with that person.
I think that's how I have it. So that's just in a preference in Zoom, right?
Well, you can control it right from in the Zoom, platform under view. There's a little button up
Yeah.
at the top right for view that says, and if you choose it, it'll say speaker or gallery. If you put it on speaker, it'll fill the screen with the speaker that's either spotlighted or pinned. I tend to, when I'm doing like an interview with somebody, I pin them so that if I make a sound, it doesn't switch to me because, the speaker, the spotlight setting will change with whoever's making microphone noise. It'll switch with that. I
So
think we might have even taken that function away and just changed it to pin, but
interesting. So I would, if I wanted to make you the person, the featured interview, I would pin you, and then when I talk, I would not take up the whole screen.
right, you would just switch it to the gallery view, and it will be the two shot of you and the speaker. And the way I do it myself is I have a separate camera for me that I record me. So then in editing, I can cut in shots of me if I need them.
Nice, yeah.
That's
So
the way
you
I
don't
do it.
you don't just use Zoom to record because it's not bad actually, but
No, people have gotten so used to it, they look at it as okay online. And most, Zoom only records up to, 720p.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So okay, that makes sense because I record my Zoom meetings for my students at the University of Houston, and they complain sometimes that it's fuzzy. And so
well, if you don't set it for within your video settings, if you don't set it for optimal recording, it'll go with whatever the bandwidth's allowing. You might even get like 320, 360, whatever.
wow. So part of what you have to do is stay up on technology. And I imagine last year
Yeah.
you got really good with Zoom because that's the tool that people are using.
Exactly.
And you can teach someone to use Zoom to tell their story or make that
Oh
part of
yeah.
your video
Yeah,
production.
people don't realize that they have great capability for, online communication just with their laptop or phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You could, the phones, like if you have a current iPhone, you can record 4K video. And
it's
if you're
amazing.
smart and get yourself a little microphone, you could record high quality video, and then, you can edit it with simple software just to cut out the, front and back ends of it. And, some of the software makes it easy to put titles if you want to put titles in. You could get rev.com for $1 a minute to give you subtitles,
Yeah, it's amazing. I've got a little lapel mic. It cost me like under $15 on Amazon, and it plugs into my iPhone, and
Yeah.
I can set my iPhone up, excuse me, so that it's the camera for, I don't think it'll work with Zoom, but it'll work with a couple of my editors where if I want to make a video, instead of using this $47 Logitech webcam that I have now, I can use my phone. And like you said, it's
You
4K.
could use your phone within Zoom. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that. So you can use the camera? That's right, you can. I've done that before. So I'm in Zoom right now. If
You
I
just have to choose, it'll come up as a device within your video settings, I believe, and you could choose it as the camera you want to use.
Interesting.
You just got to be careful uh, that you didn't connect that phone to Zoom as a participant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. So I've got, I just changed cameras. Did that work on your end?
Yeah, if you have multiple cameras, you can switch between them right within the video settings. Yeah, it's almost like you got a little production switcher there with Zoom. You could
Yeah.
do live. The switches are what they call passive. They're not sharp. You get a not always, but you get several frames of just kind of crap.
Oh, I didn't realize that. And
Sometimes you get, depending on whatever bandwidth or whatever, it'll go softly out of focus for 2-3 frames and then cut it, so it looks
yeah,
jumpy at times. uh, so I tell people, when I'm doing live switching, I say, okay, so I might stop you for a second just to make sure we have a clean switch, and then I'll start talking, and because we can edit all that out.
so let me ask you this. I'm using I use a Big Mac, an iMac computer, and right now I'm using the camera from the device, which this is kind of cool. You see, I've got a green screen behind me, so you can see where the
Oh,
problem
so
with that
that's
is.
not your office behind you, that's actually a green screen.
Well, it's both. It's actually my office, but it's a picture of my office. So I'm not sitting. You see that green? Look, can you see
Oh, way down in the
right?
corner, yeah.
Yep, way down in the corner. That's where I'm sitting right now. And you see that computer, and that computer is the Big Mac computer that I'm looking into right now.
Oh, very cool.
So I just took a picture of my office, used it as my backdrop, but I've never done this before. I've never
So many people
switched.
use the virtual backgrounds without the green screen, and it's just awful if they move. It looks, one guy looked like he was flying one day. Every time he moved, it looked like he was flying through the air.
I know, and you get that whole distortion around your head. That's
Yeah.
really. I teach at University of Houston, and I promise you, everyone. I can't think of one person, and I have interfaced with 100 people at U of H in the last year, and every one of them used the virtual background with no green screen, and it goes from very unprofessional to absolutely ridiculous. And
I
so,
know. I did a virtual video back right when the pandemic started with Tufts Dental School in Boston, and the dean of the school had a virtual background. So I said, just humor me, do it once without the virtual and do it once with the virtual, and that way you'll have a choice. You'll see. And he still ended up wanting to use the virtual background, even though he ghosted when he moved around. I was like, all right, if that's what you want, but at least I gave him the opportunity to have the other back.
yeah, and I think it I know that's true for me, and I think it's true for most people. It's like there's a huge, uh, what, there's a huge chasm you have to overcome with seeing yourself on video. And the more fluff you can have, the more anything you can have to distract from just your ugly mug, if you're me.
I admitted long ago that I have a face for radio, but I still get in front of the camera anyway.
I have come to the place where I believe video really is a much better way if you're going to try to communicate. And with COVID, the requirement that we go virtual, I was already working on that prior to, but it really got me over my fear of a camera for sure.
A lot of good things, have happened through this kind of stuff. Uh, but certain industries, like the travel industry, they're getting just wiped out by it. But the airlines and the hotels and car rentals and everything around that, they're just getting wiped out by this.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad we got to connect, and I'd love to. I don't know what your schedule's like or how much you enjoy doing this kind of thing,
Oh,
but
I love it. I enjoy talking with people. As long as I'm free, I'm all for talking with people anytime I can. Uh, one 15-minute conversation isn't going to establish a lifelong relationship. you got to talk with people multiple times to
Yeah.
get to know each other. And
Well, here's what I want to ask you to consider. And this was just a really impromptu deal, but I hit the record button. And so we created, I don't know, 10 minutes of content that I think would be interesting. I'd like to put together a quick video using
be my
that.
guest, yeah.
And then I will post that in our pod so that other people can see it.
And,
And then
and say to the group, look at this handsome fellow that I interviewed.
exact, yeah, and he and I both agreed we both have great face for radio.
Yes.
But I think that would be fun. It would. I think I really love the idea of what we're doing in our pod. It's
Yep.
great. It's working, but I think we can take it to a whole new level, and there's lots of ways to do that. But I would
Find other
like.
pods. Get a network of pods.
And that's one thing I'm working on, and I want to create a pod where the folks in the pod are like you and like me who can make a quick video and post. I just think that using this medium, video, is a huge opportunity for businesses and for people on LinkedIn, and so I'm just going to make that my niche. And
Sure.
so you're my first guinea pig, and I'm just going to make a video and post.
Just
and
don't
it's
put the
not-
title guinea pig on the
Okay.
screen.
It'll be something like how to create high quality video on LinkedIn or whatever. It'll be like a resource post, because I'm going to share my screen with you for just a minute and show you what I'm talking about. See if you can see my screen. So this is my website. And I've got resources and courses. And when I go to a resource, when you click on that little button, there's resources. And so every time I do a resource, I create a little video for the resource. Can you hear that sound?
Collins. Now, when you share videos, you should share within the share window. There's a button to share audio.
So I would,
computer,
okay, you want to hear the audio?
if you can, sure.
So how do I, I'm back
Yeah,
in Zoom.
you have to stop share,
Oh, okay, stop share.
and then when you click the share button down the bottom of the share window, there's two little boxes for optimize audio for video and share video for the computer. That way you can play the.
Dude, you're amazing. Oh, I've got to put my password in because it's apparently at, so
It
now,
says you change settings. Who are you?
who am I? What?
No, that's what the computer said. Who are you? You're changing settings.
Yeah. So now when I click this, you're going to hear the audio, right?
Yeah.
So if I make
been
this,
a teacher.
do you see
I've
that
never
big
worked in a soup
screen?
kitchen.
I do. Yep.
So that's kind of cool.
I've never rehearsed with a symphony.
I've never
Yeah,
worked at a
that's one
children's hospital,
trick that
but I
people
know
really need
I
to
can make
learn.
a difference.
My niece did a nice video for her mother for her birthday, and we had an online Zoom meeting, and she played the video on it. And I kept trying. There was a lot of people on there. I kept trying to get her attention. Make sure you share the sound on the. And of course, all you could hear it was the video playing through the microphone or the computer it was playing from, as opposed to sharing the sound from the computer. So I mean, it was okay, but so I said, "You guys are Zoom novices."
Dude, let's make that our niche, because Zoom 10 times better than I do. And in this short impromptu deal, my post is going to be, I met a Zoom master that I absolutely love. It'll be a resource. I'm going to create a resource, how to use Zoom as a professional, something like that. And I'm going to introduce you. And if it's okay with you, this is one of the things I'm working on. It's not quite ready, but I have resources and I have courses, and I want to create the same thing with consultant. And I don't really want to have 10 financial planners, if you know what I mean.
Well, just go to an old network meeting. The old joke used to be, yeah, network, it was crowded last night. There was 50 people, 48 advisors and two other.
Exactly. So I want to have consultants who can add value to the people that I want to interest and attract. And so there's no end to the opportunity out there. My business has doubled in 1 year. I'm very thankful, and but I'm having fun when I do something like this with someone like you. I get to make a new friend. We get to do something that's valuable. What you've done for me is valuable. So I'm going to I'm still working on the consultant part, but I want to invite you to be one of those.
Oh, absolutely. Love to.
And I'll have a video, and I'll make you the Zoom expert or Zoom
Zoom
consultant. Zoom Meister. You got it. You'll be my Zoom Meister, and that's going to be the resource. There'll be a resource, but there'll also be a consultant. And in your case, I might even create a course. And I just, at this present moment, am having this idea, but I do these courses and they're really easy to reproduce. I mean, because that's what I do. I make courses for my clients and for my students, but I'll make a Zoom course and you will be the instructor with me if you want.
Cool. No, that sounds great.
Cool. That's the idea. The idea is born. I'm Jim. You're Michael. And we're going to do this.
Excellent. Thank you, Jim.
You bet. I'll put this little video. Me too. Saying hooked up is not allowed if somewhere along the line it turned into something different.
That's one of those lines that'll have some kind of insinuation.
Yeah. So I'm old school and I'm an old guy and it doesn't really matter to me, but I just thought I'd give you some value because you gave me so much.
Right. Yeah. You got to be careful what you say. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, thank you for your time. I'm going to get to work on this. I have 2 folks who have committed to being on my consultant page. And you're one of them. I have 3 that are already consultants in my network, but I haven't created that tab yet. So that's, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I will have this additional element on my website and I'll start to create consultants, but you're going to be one of them. And the course for you, we're going to have a resource, we're going to have a consultant, and we're going to have a course. So that's my vision for this, is to have, be able to show our resources, show our knowledge, and show ourselves. And so that's what I'm going to do with my website.
And do one on the pods. I don't know if LinkedIn would be happy about that, but do one on the pods.
Absolutely.
If we could set up a network of pods, that'd be a way of, like getting somebody else to do some of the sharing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think Jack's right about limiting the group because it's just too much for everybody to comment on 50 videos every day. But if you have groups of them where one person's sharing to that next pod, you know what I mean? You have a way of...
Absolutely. And so can that be another one of our commitments to one another? Because I wanted to start another pod. I just wanted it to have a distinction that it was somehow related to video, and I didn't know how.
More creative sides.
Yeah, and like your technical proficiency in Zoom far exceeds mine, and I'm sure when it comes to making videos, you have way more knowledge than I do, but I've gotten pretty decent at it just because I've worked hard, but I would love to collaborate with you. Boston is far enough away. We will never be competing no matter what kind of lemonade stand we decide to make together. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
No, this is great.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to get on. I've got another meeting I got to get ready for, but I'm going to be working on this video. It'll be easy to create the resource and the course, and the consultant is like, I got to start over with that part, but I'm going to do it, and you're going to be one of them. So
excellent. I appreciate that.
I'll create a post and we'll put it on LinkedIn, share it with our pod and get their input. But then I'm working on my list of people that I want to be in our, let's call it video pod.
Right.
Or
right.
because
I'll line some people up too.
because you and we have that in common, the whole video thing. But like I've noticed, I've got a sales pod I'm in, and then I forgot his first name, Wang.
Jack Wang, yeah.
Jack, he started our success pod, right?
Right, yeah.
And he told me he learned from our other pod and wanted to have another pod. So now we'll have video pod, and I think that'll be popular.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a great idea. It multiplies your views, which is awesome. You know, I mean, because the LinkedIn caught on with what Facebook was doing and limiting your networks, you know, to views, make you pay for, you know, to get to it. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. So I think this is going to be great, and I'm thankful I met you. I look forward to getting to know you more.
same here, Jim.
All right, bro. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.
You too.